Welcome back to another episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. We're back with season 5, and we have another guest. Listen, I told y'all, new year, new vibes. We got more people on the couch this week. Yeah. Now, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I can't give you the candid introduction yet because we don't know each other like that yet. But go ahead and let the people know who you are.
All right, my name is DTW Judah. Yeah. So I'm on every platform, up and coming artist. We here, we grinding, we working.
I'm curious, what does the DTW stand for?
Dedicated to winning.
Dedicated to winning. Listen, I like that. Yeah. From everything that I've seen so far, it looks like, you have a positive message behind you. You're looking to empower.
Yeah.
And we talked a few seconds before we started rolling, and you told me about, some of your journey.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that inspired where you are with music, but just kind of, I guess, tell the people a little bit about who you are and give them a little backstory, a little glimpse into who you are.
Oh man. First things first is I'm a righteous person. So I live in a way that's with morals and principles.
Listen, look, let's give him a hand clap for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I definitely, first thing first is I'm a man of morals and principles, and I'm a hustler. I'm a person that's gonna go get it, and I'm gonna create a plate for everybody to eat, and that's what I'm striving to do here with the whole DTW Nation, and with my clothing brand and everything else I got going on, is just striving to make a plate for everybody to eat. So that's what my brand is about. It's about winning every day and whatever it is, and that's what I push.
Nice. Yeah. So, since that's what you stand for, what do you do every day that sets you up to win?
The first thing I do every day is I pray.
Okay.
That's the first thing I do. That's gonna set me up every day. Because it's going to humble me.
Yes.
It's going to let me know it's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I do. And the second thing I do is I stay consistent to my goals.
Okay.
So I'm always revising goals. And I'm always making adjustments. And I stay consistent to that. So it don't matter what it is. It don't matter if it feel like I don't get nowhere. If it don't matter if if I'm adding just a little bit of weight, if I'm fasting for the day, if I want to add a little bit of water, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to stay consistent with it, and I'm always going to make adjustments to that, and that's what's going to get me further.
And that's huge. That's a big word. Consistency. Anything that's successful takes consistency.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they start and they stop.
Yeah.
And so to actually see the fruits of whatever it is that you're doing, you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the fact that you're an artist.
Yeah.
But you're not only an artist.
No.
You're a clothing designer as well.
Yes, for sure.
And so I saw you cutting some fabrics and, so tell me more about that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you doing the homework.
Listen, I gotta do my research,
For sure. Yeah, so, I got a clothing line called Valencia Lifestyle.
Okay.
Valencia stands for strength. And we know that in order to get to the finish line and to have a victory, you got to have strength.
Absolutely.
Right? In everything you do. So, everything I create is by hand, is one-on-one. And it's just me. It's just me I started the brand just specifically off of being inspired by having my own style.
Mm-hmm.
And not only just having my own style, also is understanding that I really didn't have the funds to really go out and do everything I wanted to do, but I knew that I had the ability to create what I seen, but with style.
So how did you get into the whole tailoring process? Because when people say they got clothing lines, it's normally, I can screen print some stuff, I can iron on some stuff, but you in there really cutting up some stuff. So how did you get that skill of actually cutting, possibly sewing, all the different things that you do?
I just did it.
Okay.
I just did it. All right. So, and that's being real. Listen, I was fascinated. I'm like, man, I want to start this clothing line. And I was like, man, you know what? I had $60 in my pocket. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a sewing machine. So I called up a friend of mine who had a thrift store. I'm like, man, you got a sewing machine. I need one. He like, let me see. He's like, I don't got one at the thrift store, but my girlfriend got one in the basement. It's brand new. So I'm like, how much you want? He's like, $60. I said, good, because that's all I got.
Listen, look, when a plan comes together.
What? That's all I got. So He bring me the sewing machine, and the rest is history. The first day, TikTok. I looked up how to thread it.
Like TikTok University always come through.
I was shown how to thread it. And once I was shown how to thread it, the rest was just looking at stuff and being like, I can do that.
Right.
And I just did it. So it's been that way ever since. I just do it. And if I see something, I'm inspired by something, I look at it, I look at the shape, and I just do it. Like I ain't nobody sat down with me and was like, you gotta be like this, you gotta be. I just did it. Now we creating stuff with leather, suede, furs, anything on there, and it's by hand, and we just doing it. Now I can't say I'm the greatest of all time, but I can tell you this: every piece gets better and better and better.
Listen, everybody got to start somewhere. So I'm excited to see, where you are now, because I haven't really got to see much of the pieces yet. Yeah. And you came in here with a big bag, so I'm assuming you're going to show me something.
Oh, I got some things, man. I got some things.
But I can't wait to see what you're creating today.
Yes.
And then also, years from now to kind of see what that grows into, because it's not often you get to hear people say, I just picked it up and I tried it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And so, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So where are you from? For the people who listening, where are you from? Because you don't, even though you spent a lot of time in York, you don't sound like you're from York.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time. Well, it's crazy, right? Because if I tell you where I'm from, I don't sound like I'm from there either. But I was born in Virginia. Okay. That's where my family is from, Virginia. Everybody, I was back and forth from there to York. So, but York PA has been in my stomach ground. That's where I was born and raised. I mean, that's where I was raised, and that's where I jumped off the porch. That's where I learned all my skills at. That's why I cultivated my mind state, everything. So it's truly me, and I live for the people there. So
how long were you, like, how long have you been a native of York?
Since I was like 3.
So you've been there forever.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be 35 this year, so yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I've been there a while. So, but yeah, it's definitely, I love it there, and my whole mission is to bring a spotlight to this region. Cause coming from a small region, we don't get the type of light and the publicity that we need in order to take us to the next level. Right. So all it takes is one person, though. So if you got one person that just can create something and be able to show that there's a way, it can inspire so many. And not only just do it, because there's so many people that come from Harrisburg, York, Lancaster, that got it and did some major things. But guess what? When they came back, they wanted to exploit. Right. They didn't want to give back and get a hand and say, listen, we really giving. Let's make it happen. You go to Atlanta, you go to Charlotte, you got people that came from there, create a studio. They created hubs for people to come and be able to be successful there, right? So that's why you can see Gucci, he had all these artists that came through him. He created a studio. So any artist that wanted to rap, they went to his studio, and it was easy for him to handpick. Yeah, I want him. But if all I'm doing is exploiting, that means that I'm really the one in the field seeing who I can take advantage of, not who I can help. Right. And I definitely agree with you, because York is a very small town. It is. Half the people listening are probably like, what, New York? Because that's what we get every time. New York? No, York. York, yeah, that's a fact. Look, York, okay? But York is a very small town, but like you said, it's a lot of culture there. It is. It's a lot of talent there. It is. And we don't, I'm gonna say we, because I gotta claim York, even though people hear the Baltimore accent. I gotta claim York because I grew up in York. That's a fact. I'm not from York High, but I went to Central. Okay, that's cool though. That's the same thing. Basically. Yes. But it's a lot of talent there. It's a lot of culture there, and like over the past couple of years, I can say that a lot of people have built infrastructure there. Yeah. Like I can see where the city is going. Yeah, you can see it. And so, like you said, listen, I do believe that if York can stay consistent, and like you said, it's only going to take that one spark, that one person to put York on the map. Like I do believe great things are going to come out of York. I mean, because if you know York, you know that it's really some people that's doing some things in York forever. And realistically, I've been doing this for a minute. Yeah. So like I've been interviewing, artists and stuff like this since, I don't know, like 2012. Yeah.
And a lot of the people that were making music back then, the thing that disheartens me is that a lot of them stopped.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them.
Because I mean, like one of my very first interviews that I did, I mean, it was like 10 people back to back to back to back. And I look at that video, I'm just like, wow, like why are y'all not making music no more?
Discouraged. I mean, you live in a place where, you know, you getting beat down from all angles. Mm-hmm. Thing that can kick in is survive. The only thing that kicks in is survival. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, like you know, they want it so bad. Mm-hmm. Everybody want it so bad. But the problem is we lose hope. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we lose hope is because we don't understand business. Mm-hmm. So when we looking at it from the angle of, all right, I'm just rapping. It's not enough. Right. Because the industry is ran first off of business before rap. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm happy. I enjoy making music, but I know that it's a business first. So guess what? I know I need a clothing line.
Right.
You know, I know
you gotta find a different way to brand yourself outside of that.
Because guess what? You gotta offer people something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, your music is good and it's cool, but outside of that, what else you got?
Right.
What else do you have? What can I connect with outside of that? Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why you got, like today, you got, you know, shows and podcasts like yours, because it allows for people to come on there and people to connect and see more. Mm-hmm. So now while I'm on there and I'm connecting, I'm showing more. Now I can say, hey, guess what? I got Valencia on too, though. You see that? Yeah, you like this drip? Uh-huh. Oh, you like what I'm saying? You like what I'm speaking? Right. Guess what? I got my own thing going on too. You might want to go check that out. Right. I'm giving people motivation.
I'm about to say, and you definitely right. That's one thing I feel like a lot of musicians and rappers don't realize is that they are the business. Yeah. Like you are the business. Yeah. Like you get to create whatever it is that you see. Like you get to brand yourself and stamp whatever message that you want to stamp in this world.
That's a fact.
And so I'm glad to hear. I'm a person that's very meaningful. So I'm glad to hear that a lot of what you do has meaning to it. And you just dropped, you know, your new album called Cold February.
Yeah, Cold February. Yeah,
Cold February. And I listened to a couple songs off of it. Yeah. And like I said, it has a message. Yeah. It sounds like it's, you know, it caters to the women.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy because to me, like we live in an age right now where people get called simps. Yeah. For, you know.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
For empowering women or speaking highly of women. So tell me why it's so important right now to create music that's empowering women.
I think that first and foremost, I have a daughter.
Oh, listen, shout out to your daughter.
Yeah. Miss a promise. Yeah. I'm a promise dad. First and foremost, I got a daughter. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. And number two, I have a mother that I take care of. Mm-hmm. Outside, through all of the things I do, I take care. I assist my mother, should I say. Okay. I assist my mother, you know. And just to see their strength through all these years helps drive me. So I know the importance when I'm around them. Just the importance of saying, hey, you know what? When they down, I need to pick them up. Right. And at the same time, when I pick them up, they give me my energy. Because they my natural helpmate. Right. You know, they natural helpmate. So it's the same thing. But at the same time, I cater to a lot of women in my music, but I cater to just a man's man at the same time, too. Right. You know, because it's okay to say, listen, shorty, like, you like that? I appreciate you. I thought I was doing that for you. But what I realized is that you did that for me. Like, you know what I mean? Right. It's alright to say that.
Right, yeah.
And so I'm
listen. I love to hear you say that because I'm sorry, listen, I can't, look, this day and age, we get caught up in the 50-50. Yeah. The 50-50. Don't nobody want to do nothing unless they getting something.
Yeah, that's how
it is. So it's nice to hear you say, like, no, like, I can tell you what you did for me. Like, you know what I mean? And acknowledge that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because, look, when I'm down, and I ain't got nothing, she gonna give me the energy. And listen, I'm just saying what a lot of us feel, but we won't say. Because the real truth of the matter is, the way the industry right now is like, a lot of the women are trying to take advantage of men because that's the music that's put out. So as a man, how can I say, damn, you did me great. Right. When soon as I tell you that, oh, I got him.
And you know what's so funny? I have a lot of male friends. And we were just having this conversation like literally last night. And he was telling me that same exact thing. Yeah. We live in this culture right now where it's like women are looking for a trick.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And if I don't know how we got here. Because it makes it hard for women like me that's like, look, I want to be courted.
That's a fact.
That's a word that you don't hear too often in this generation.
Hell no.
But courting is something totally different. You know, show me you appreciate me.
Yeah.
Like, these men don't understand that at this day and age, if you show me that you appreciate me, I'm going to show you that I appreciate you back.
That's a fact.
But you can only do that for the right woman, though.
That's a fact.
But you're spiritual, so I can go here. Discernment. I think that's what a lot of men are lacking.
Yeah.
Is discernment.
I think that for a lot of us, that along with the education.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about this. You got a woman who grows up, right? And when she's a kid, my daughter is going to be taught, you should save this until you're married.
Right.
You should only think about marriage. You should only look at things from that perspective. And then my son, he'll grow up and it'll be like, man, you better, he'll grow up like, hey, you better not, mess with them, wife, no woman. Hey man, what you do?
Right,
keep it moving.
But you're right. It's like the narrative is different.
It's totally different.
It's like, and I think about that often, you know, as a woman who's aspiring to marriage. I think about, am I wanting something that's not actually out there?
That's a fact.
Because there's a lot of, like you just said, there's not a lot of men who are being taught to look forward to marriage.
No, it's not.
So listen.
It's not. I mean, everything we do, the first thing that need to be done is to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us ain't taught a lot of stuff. I'm so grateful that I was given time,
right,
to be able to study myself.
Mm-hmm.
And once I studied myself, I started to see that what was within was without.
Right.
So I started to see that the same thing that exists in me existed in others.
Right. So I guess speak to that a little bit. Like, when did you have that time?
All right. So I did 7 years in the Feds.
Okay.
And the
only reason why we're gonna talk about it is because we got to be a motivation to somebody, let them know it's possible to come from that and be where you are today.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I come from, you know, a place of the same story, you know, you just trying to get it, you peer pressure, all kind of stuff. You just going through the motions of street stuff or whatever they call street stuff. And of course, I get caught up and I was in and out of jail. And so when I went to the Feds, just this last time, I did 7 years, and I was looking at a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you that, I just feel like I'm just so blessed.
Mm-hmm.
So what that time made me realize is that with me feeling so blessed, if I just be patient, be consistent, then I'm going to always win.
Right.
I'm always going to win. If I make today better than yesterday, I'm always going to win. But that time gave, somebody told me this. I was older guy. He said, you know, the worst thing they can give you. I'm like, well, he's like, the worst thing they can give you is time. Mm-hmm. You can't give a thinking man time because he's going to think his way out of it.
Right.
So once I heard that, I knew that, okay, I had to think and I had to execute. And that's what I spent my time doing.
So is that where, like, were you making music before then? Or where it kind of...
No, I was making music since I was like 12. I've been making music since a kid.
Okay.
Probably before that, like 10.
You was playing the drums in the church?
I didn't do that, but you know, I had cousins them that did that. You know, I was never that type of musician. They real good. But I was just the type, you know, I was the guy with the karaoke machine in the house recording on tape cassettes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Instrumentals that you getting from the bootleg guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or we buying the singles that they had on the shelf for $2 and they came with the instrumental on there.
Right. I
was taking those back to the house and I was rapping over top of them as a kid, just freestyling. But I this time what it did for me though, it built my business mind up a lot more, because somebody told me before, like, I mean, you a great hustler. Mm-hmm. But when you gonna become a businessman?
And realistically, because I say this all the time, and I literally just said this on the last episode. Realistically, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Those who know, it's the same thing. It all breaks down to units.
It does. But if we don't understand it, then it won't be the same thing for us, because we'll just be on a hamster wheel with it.
Yeah.
See, you understand it. So now with you understanding it, you can break it down.
Right.
You know how to you compare and contrast, right? Mm-hmm. You could do that. to a lot of people, they can't compare the two because they don't understand it.
Right.
So it's hard. I had to understand that business is nothing but strategizing.
Right. Yeah. Listen, I agree. Yeah. I agree. So you said, you grew up with the karaoke machine.
Yeah.
So who are some of your musical influences? Because when I was listening to your music, and I only listened to a little bit of it, but like it's it's more softer, it's more melodic.
Yeah.
It's not real hardcore, but I'm just wondering, who are your influences? And it could be past or present.
All right, my first influence is pop.
Okay.
So if you listen, we go back and listen to those. Make sure you go get that. Her January, Cold February.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Go get that. Go get that. When you listen to those, they're very passionate. Mm-hmm. And Pop was very passionate. Mm-hmm. So I get that from him. But Hove.
Okay.
That's my man. I mean, he gonna talk elevation. Mm-hmm. And if you want to hear something, he ain't gonna say it again. Go get the last joint.
Right.
So that's what I be on. Like, I'm just about passion and being able to elevate. Mm-hmm. And those are some of the people that I listen to. Of course, I listen to a bunch of other people, but those are people that I consistently, that kind of molded me in this music.
It's funny that you say Pac because I'm a real big Pac fan. He's like, I love everything about Pac. Like, I feel like him and Nipsey Hussle are two people.
That's my other man.
Yeah, you can't forget Nipsey.
Nip, my man.
Listen,
I listen to Nip all the time.
Nipsey, but the thing I like most about them is, like you said, they realized that they were a business. They built their brand. Not only were they loved for what they talked about, but they were loved for their music. They were loved for pretty much who they were all the way around. And so, you got 2 singles out right now.
Yeah.
Like That and Relate.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about both of those songs.
All right. I mean, Like That, that's my song. Like That was just, it was basically a lot of time as men, like I be speaking from perspective from men point of views too.
Okay.
So Like That was just about, okay, we going through some things, but is what we going through, does it warrant what you putting me through? Mm-hmm. Right? Because me and you, we in a relationship, we can have a fallout, we can do something, but is it worth you just saying fuck you like you never loved me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when I'm done with it, I'm not going to say F you. I'm just going to say, okay, we went our separate ways.
Right.
But it has to be the point where you got to do this in front of me and do that in front of me and try to break me down and hurt me because we had differences.
But I say, and that's toxic love.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
It is. And unfortunate, too many times it goes that way. Mm-hmm. I don't want to beef with you.
Right.
If we separated, we separated. It just wasn't meant to be. I don't want to beef with you.
Right.
I don't want to have to feel like I never loved you. Mm-hmm. Cause I be a lot to myself. Mm. So Like That was kind of expressing that it was dope. It came from that. It was my version of Song Cry.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Relate was just me just saying like, who gonna be there for somebody when that person that's down? Mm-hmm. You know, we go through so much just in the streets and life, whatever we just going through. Like, who that person just gonna be there to hold us down? Who gonna have love for me? Because sometimes this journey can get very lonely.
Right.
It get lonely. The road gets so lonely. Who gonna be there just to comfort me when I need that? Mm. You know what I mean? So that's what them 2 singles was about, and everything else kind of just spun off of that.
I love that because you don't get to hear that too often from a man. Like the perspective of we gonna talk through this.
Yeah.
Like we don't get to hear the emotional side of a man.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love what you putting out there. Listen, teach him. Listen. The dating pool is terrible. Yeah. Y'all better be taking notes. That's all I'm saying. But the song that I listened to that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Was Life Challenges.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like songs that tell a story.
Yeah.
And that song told a story to me.
Yeah.
So tell me about like what that process of creating that song was like.
Oh man, to be honest, that whole EP was about overcoming your challenges. Mm-hmm. That whole thing, and that's why it was Cold February, because February is normally a place for love, right? Mm-hmm. You got Valentine's Day, and we know Valentine's Day is coming. So you on your best behavior, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then even after Valentine's Day, you got treated so good, so you still on your best behavior. So February is normally a time where love is very high, right? It's very romantic, right? But this February was cold because I had to move away from things that I love. Mm-hmm. Right? And that was overcoming the challenges that's holding us back. A lot of us back is we just want to hold on to things that's dead.
Right.
We hold on, that's gonna kill us.
Right.
So just overcoming that. Mm-hmm. And I knew, so just that whole song was inspired. Like I'm like, damn, this is falling off, that's falling off. Damn, but I thought this was supposed to lock in like this, like. But guess what? I realized that the true secret was believing in myself, and I could figure the rest out. Right. And that's what it was. We had to overcome that and say, you know what? The best thing for us to do, even if I don't tell you, even if I don't say it, is I'm going to separate myself. I still love you. I got love for you, but I got to separate myself. And but the key part of that is separating without having to use emotions with it. Right. Right. Because a lot of times I gotta use emotions to do it. I gotta say, fuck you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Get out my face. I don't want to talk to you. Right. Leave me alone. Right. I gotta do all this. Right. Instead of just.
So you gotta do your big one. They gotta feel you.
Yeah. You feel me? Instead of it just being rational, just saying, is this good enough for me? Is this is stopping my move? It's not. Listen, it's not personal. If this person loves me and I love them, how can I take it personal? They just didn't know how to support me at this moment.
Right. And honestly, a lot of the times we don't tell them how to.
That's a fact.
We assume that people know how.
That's a fact.
And like, I don't know, you speaking to me right now because I'm going through the same thing. I'm really going through the same thing in life right now. I'm going through a transitionary period where I'm just like, you know what? You said something like letting things go that are dead. Yeah. Period. That's like when things start falling apart, like people don't realize that when things start falling apart, it's for a reason.
That's a fact.
Like they just look at it, oh well, let me go ahead and try to make this work. Let me do this. You know what I mean? No. If it's falling off, let that thing fall apart. Let it go.
Listen, think about this. When a mother has a baby, right? Mm-hmm. And if she has joint twins, and one of them is killing the other one, she has to make a decision. Right. Do I keep both of my babies, and both of them die, or do I kill one of them, the one that's killing my baby? Mm-hmm. And that's life. Right. Like, we got to make the hard decision.
Yeah. Listen, life is about a lot of unpopular decisions. Decisions that won't be the easiest
That's a fact. That's a hard decision. So with that, when you look at life from those type of perspective, it allows you to say, I got to withdraw certain emotions that's attaching me. Right. And I got to be able to just make a decision for the betterment of life. Mm-hmm. That's going to make me further. And then in return, guess what? When you're ready, the door is open. If you never did nothing to cross me, why would I want to just cut my door off? Right. Why would I want to just block it up and put the army on the door? Don't let him in. Mm-hmm. They didn't do nothing to deserve that. They just didn't know how. And when taught, they just didn't know what to do next.
Well, what I think it is, and what I'm like learning it right now in my journey, is about boundaries.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because a lot of us grow up without them.
That's a fact.
So boundaries are healthy for you because it keeps people from being able to take advantage of you.
That's a fact.
It's that way of saying, I don't got to do my big one, but I know where you stand and I'm going to go ahead and draw the line.
That's a fact. And that comes, and you know what? That comes with self-awareness and really sitting down and understanding yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because when I understood myself, I didn't have to think about the boundary. Right. The boundary already existed.
Right, because you already knew what you wanted, what you didn't want.
When I conquered the land, I planted my flag there. It was done. Mm-hmm. Don't cross that line. Right. Like, I didn't have to reinforce that. Right. That was done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's how I live my life. I plant my flag. Okay, what needs to be conquered? What is good where it's at? Okay. And the boundary's going to be set there. And that's how we live and pushing forward. And a lot of times, like again, man, people, like you said, man, people don't know what to do. They don't know where to sit. They don't know where to stand. They don't know what to do. So they don't, and that's okay. Right. That's fine too. And sometimes, guess what? We don't know what the next move is for us. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you, hey, listen, I need you to sit right there and watch the door, because maybe I wasn't prepared for that move. Maybe I don't know what to do. Right. So until I can tell you where to stand, guess what? Just chill out. Right. Let me go make this move real quick, and then I can find out where you could be, useful at. Right. And sometimes it's simple as that. But you don't get none of that until we search inside. Right. And then when you search inside, that's when overcome your challenges, and then you can't even break the next plane of existence until you overcome your challenge.
Right. Listen, I know that. I've been in the cycle for a long time. I'm happy to say I'm out of it. So listen, I feel you. But so you say, planting your flag. That's like, planting your flag. You planted your flag in York, Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah.
That's where your impact is.
Yeah.
That's where your business is right now.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
What do you see for your business, your brand as a whole?
Yeah.
Within the next 1 year and the next 5 years.
So, this run that I'm on for this next year or two is just about building brand awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So by my 5th year, it's just about getting the name, making sure that my name becomes household, making sure that the brand becomes household.
Mm-hmm.
It don't have to be the biggest brand in the world. It just has to be a brand that people can relate to, and the brand know that, guess what? It's a plate and a place for them to eat at. Because we building bridges over here. Right. So guess what? We got building on over here where you could become, anybody can become a brand ambassador.
Right.
So if you make a sale, if you come with us, listen, only thing we ask, this criteria, this criteria, this criteria. You meet the criteria? Okay, cool. It's not all high. It could be a regular person. You automatically get a code. Mm-hmm. When you get a code, anybody purchase through your code, you make money.
So you talked about like building bridges.
Yeah.
That's something we don't get to hear too often.
Yeah.
And so I love that mentality of, we can help each other. I can already tell that you have a vision. Yeah. Like, because my expertise is in marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, to hear you say, I see the bigger picture. You could be a brand ambassador. A lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people think like, well, why would I give it to you for free if I gotta pay for it?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I gotta, They don't understand to get something. Like, you don't necessarily have to get monetary out of it to get something out of it.
Hell no, back end.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get on the back end.
Exactly.
It don't matter. Like you like, in order to receive something, you gotta create value. Mm-hmm. So we creating value over here, right, and we pushing it. And like I said, this whole thing is being able to create a plate where your regular person, you listen to mine, you like what I say, you like how I dress, you like my music, my sound, or whatever. Guess what? You can make money. Mm-hmm. You don't have to just listen. If you love it, holla at me, put a proposal in. What can you do? Can you set up a venue? You go 50-50.
Right, yeah.
Yo, it be in your house.
Yeah.
You got 25 people, you can put 25 people in there.
Listen.
You can put 10 people in there.
Real story. This living room right here, because I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I made a short film. This living room right here, I want to say 5 years ago, gutted out the whole living room and packed it out with about 30, 40 people and did a movie premiere right here in this living room.
See what I'm saying?
And all it takes is a vision. And what inspired that, because I'm a person that like gains inspiration from everywhere.
Me too.
What inspired that for me was like Dolomite.
Okay.
Like how they did their comedy shows and stuff like that. Because it's like, you don't gotta recreate the wheel.
No, you
don't. It was people before you who did it.
They done it.
All you gotta do is do the same thing. It still works today. Yeah. Whether we more fancy in 2025 or not, it still works.
That's a fact.
It still works. But so your music is, popping right now. I know that you're planning to drop an EP every month.
Every month we drop an EP.
That's what you call dedication and consistency.
Yeah. We dedicated to winning.
So what's up next? For March.
So March, the March EP is called dang, I'm giving up the sauce on this one. I'm giving up the sauce.
Look, the exclusive.
Yeah, giving up the sauce on this one. So the next one is called March X.
Okay.
Right, and of course X has always been for unknown.
Okay.
And it plays the part of March X when you think of as Malcolm X.
Okay.
Right, and so we already know it deals with Black history. But what was important about March X is that it could have been in February, right? It's Black History Month, but March it continues outside of it, right?
Right.
And so March X really is just talk about. I got the inspiration from seeing, growing up, watching how Malcolm X and Betty, right, how their relationship just elevated and evolved, and how she was there for him. Mm-hmm. So what I did was, I wanted to create a EP dedicated to all historical relationships that were great for Black people. Mm-hmm. And that's what March X gonna be about.
I love it. How many songs is gonna be on there?
It's gonna be 4 on there. Maybe 5. It's gonna be 4 on there.
Okay, and tell the people where they can find your music.
Oh man, you can go on any platform, Spotify, Apple Music. You go on there, go on YouTube, go support at DTW Judah. Go support the clothing line, Valencia Lifestyle, Instagram, TikTok, all platforms. Make sure you go do that. And also go check the website out on Block Marketplace. BLOCMARKETPLACE. Blockmarketplace.com. That's the website. You're going to find music, entertainment. You're going to find clothing. You're going to find your daily dose of healing. You're going to find everything.
Everything. Listen, this is a well-rounded brand.
Yeah. Very luxurious.
Now, one thing you didn't speak to was performances. Yeah. Any performances coming up? Any appearances that we need to know about?
As of right now, I don't have no performances coming up. I'm just strictly pushing the brand out through campaigning through podcasts. We just came off shooting video, really just trying to get and making sure that when people come, we got the music for them. We got what they need. We want the catalog. So we trying to build that catalog up, and that's what made us come up with strategizing, me and the team, and dropping every month, because we want to build the catalog up. So when you look, you just don't see, oh, he got that one song and it stopped right there.
Listen. You speaking my language. I literally just was telling somebody that strategy. You strategize so that once you start, you don't stop.
That's a fact.
And if you stop, it's intentional.
That's a fact.
So listen, I'm glad we got to connect.
That's a fact.
I didn't think that we was going to get as deep as we got, but I'm a deep person, so I'm happy when the conversation has meaning.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you came through.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, looking more at your brand. Yeah. Getting some of them clothes. I'm a fashionista.
Oh yeah. Hey, grab some of that. Grab that. I'm talking about it. Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to where you'll be within the next year, in the next 2 years.
I bought a gift for you.
Oh, listen,
that's good right there. That's good.
Listen, I love that.
Yeah. I brought a gift for you, man.
Thank you.
I brought a gift because
Valencia,
go get that. Yeah, with the hat. Go get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. And let me see them pants right there. I'm gonna show you these pants real quick. She got a pair of them on, but yep. Let me see them, baby girl.
I was wondering if I already peeped. I was wondering if you made those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I made those. I made this all Valencia.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely it's dope. Go make sure you tap in. This thing right here, all handmade, all custom made, rhinestones, all on them.
About to say, and it's definitely in trend because denim is in trend real heavy right now.
Yeah, we popping. Mm-hmm. We around every corner. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen. We wanted to come bearing a little gift,
Listen, I appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate you for having us.
Listen, like the next episode, I'm gonna have this shirt on. Okay. Listen, we gonna help each other win.
I'm trying to tell you.
Listen, but like I said, I'm happy that I got to meet you today and have this conversation. And I'm sure this won't be the last conversation.
Oh, no, it won't. I enjoyed it.
I'm excited about what the future holds for both of us.
That's a fact.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you on social media once again before we close out.
DTW Judah on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you go like, follow, subscribe, share on all platforms. Also
purchase.
Yes, and purchase, please. Support
black business. It is still Black History Month for a little bit longer.
Yes, and guess what? Let me tell you something. Every brand, majority of these brands, they're going overseas and they're getting mock-ups. Every brand that we build here, baby girl. Every brand that we build here is made in-house with our team. Mm-hmm. Hand cut leather. Sweet, come through. We talking about luxury.
Well, look, I'm gonna put it out there that I want a hat.
Yeah, say that.
I want a hat with some leather on it.
Say that.
Maybe a little denim or something.
Say that. Then that's what
I like. Custom pieces. I like stuff I can't get nowhere else.
Say that. Then what you want? A ball cap or you want the Scully? What you want?
I'm cool with the ball cap, but I don't know. Listen, I know it takes a level of intricacies for the what do they call them? Not the fedoras, but the big hats.
Oh, they the I
don't know what they call it though.
It's the fedora.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's the fedora.
Okay.
Yep.
Ideally a fedora, but I can settle for a baseball cap though.
You know what? We're gonna work on Sandoni and Chip.
All right, listen, I appreciate it.
That's my word. We locked in on that.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. And before you click off the video, make sure you click the button at the bottom of this video and subscribe and help your sister on her road to 200 subscribers. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night.
Peace.